Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and this is Gary Kildall. Gary, chess is an ancient game, as we all know. We're going to be talking about game software today, Gary, and some people may think that's frivolous, but from a programmer's point of view, I would think the challenges of writing a game are much the same as those for writing business software.
Well, there are a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, Stuart. In the case of business software, for example, the coding is often very file-intensive. In the case of game-playing software, it's often real-time.
Now, one kind of computer game is the adventure game or interactive novel. And a good example of that is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. We're going to start today with an interview we recently had with Douglas Adams, in which he talked about his fascination for computer games.
In a plane belonging to the Zalagasser Parachute Club. And
with us in the studio now are Richard Seaborn and Jeff Leffords, both of whom have created a new game called The Tower of Miraglen, which is published by PBI Software. Gary.
Richard, this machine, or your game, uses a special board apparently to produce this sound. How is the sound actually stored in the machine?
The actual sound is stored in digitized data. That is to say, we take an audio source such as...
Now, give us an example of how you use the sound in here and how you've added sound to typical adventure fantasy game.
Okay, a lot of adventures in the past have always had sounds because they harp a lot on the adventure and they forget the other side, the action side and the sound side. It really makes it like you're there, puts you in the situation.
Okay, tell us what you're doing as you do it.
Okay, I'm going into the room. I'm fighting some ghosts and some demons.
And each one of those sounds has been digitized through a tape player.
Now I've died.
I mean, he died just in there. And I got a lot of pleasure out of that. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us. Now, what happens when you buy a game, you come home and you can't play it, or it doesn't work, or you get stuck in the middle of an adventure game and you don't know where to go next? You call a customer support line, and if you're lucky, somebody answers the phone. What happens on the other side of that phone? We asked Wendy Woods to find out.
Their job is to answer any question about any of the firm's 64 game titles across a range of 7 different computers.
Where the fuck you get off talking to people about me behind my back going,
Who is it?
I gotta listen to people because of your fucking shit? You're ordering me out?
In San Mateo, for the Computer Chronicles, I'm Wendy Woods.
Joining us in the studio now is Mike Morris. Mike is Regional Sales Manager with ITC. Next to Mike, we have Bill Howard, Executive Editor with PC Magazine.
Mike, we've got a device sitting on the table here, and I'm not sure whether it's a telephone or a computer.
Computer with an antenna. I can have this with me in my car anywhere, call up a database, call up my home computer, an online service.
That's correct. Also provided with the unit is a 12-volt car adapter, so you can plug in through there.
Can you prove this thing works?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I mean, just place a call to the host.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. That's all the time we have for our look at the new generation of laptops. We'll be back in just a minute with this week's Computer News. Now, if there is any dedicated group of old computer users, it is certainly the people who still love their Coco, the Tandy Color computer. We start with a visit to the Color Computer Users Group in Santa Clara, California.
We are part of a dying breed living in the twilight of the Coco.
That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll see you next time.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte Magazine, and BIX, the Byte Information Exchange. In print and online, Byte and BIX serve computer professionals worldwide with details.